Bitcoin is set up for a massive candle here, in my opinion. What I'm seeing in the charts right now is a confluence of indications that a large, heinous, potentially ludicrous move is looming in the shadows. Is this move likely to break to the upside or deep down into the crypto abyss? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and why I believe a massive candle is here looming in the shadows. And as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up, all right? So we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice. This is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and observations on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. Being said, let's begin here on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. What I'm seeing right now, guys, is that we have cleanly been rejected off of our resistance box. Now, why are we at that level, you may ask? If we go out to the daily, this resistance box is categorized right here by this cluster of consolidation we had on the daily time frame amidst our capitulation from 6,000. And as we all know, per classical technical analysis theory, old support should in turn become new resistance. And it is no surprise, ladies and gentlemen, ding, 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 chicken wings for dinner, tofu if you're vegan, we did get just that with a clean new resistance created, and we are, for the first time, looking to consolidate right now after our first rejection off of the new resistance. Being said, let's go back to the weekly here. For me, we're stuck right in between these two levels now, creating a new trading range of about 19%. This is the new range for me that Bitcoin is going to have to decide where it's going to create its new levels of consolidation, support, and resistance. Tentatively right now, we have our first resistance zone. And the fact of the matter is are we going to now create a new level of support within here, right? We're going to discuss this. Or are we likely to just drop back down here for a massive candle? Or are we likely to follow this upward trajectory and ultimately massively spike up to the 6K region? Let's discuss all of this right now, okay? So if we go back to the weekly, what I want to look at first are these moving averages. Of course, we all know the holy grail of moving averages, this teal line here, the 200-week moving average. This is where Bitcoin found its bottom in the last bear cycle. Bounced off of it 3 times, found our triple bottom support, and that sparked the massive bull trend of 2016 through 2017. Of course, here for the first time, we found our support at the 200 weekly after our capitulation from 6,000. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, every moon boy and their brother, oh, Kirby, because we hit the 200 weekly moving average, Kirby, hit the bottom, and the bottom is in. What I'll tell you right now, James, what I'll tell you right now, Joe, is that even if we scroll back in history to where these moon boys are preaching it must be the bottom, you must understand that Bitcoin rallied and failed several times after we hit that for the first time, right? Currently, as it stands here in 2019, Bitcoin has only hit this once, right? And we can see what happened here back in 2015 after we hit it the first time. We rallied for 56% to the upside, very similar to what we have right now. Then we failed, dropped 50% back down, rallied again, dropped back down, and then we took off. So for me, although this could be the bottom, I'm going to explain my theories on this. Again, just bear with me. I'm trying to set up the whole picture here for everybody. we've only tested this once. I mean, twice if you want to be a stickler, but this was just such a basic reaction rally. I mean, amidst capitulation, of course, the 200 gets defended. We immediately go back to test it. I'm honestly at this point categorizing these as very close to the same touch. For me, what would be very, very nice would be a third touch, but let's get into the daily right now. So what we're seeing, guys, is that we've dropped back down off the resistance level. We're finding our first attempt at support here, right? We had our massive candle up, consolidate, reject, and now we're looking to finally have an area that is going to either need to hold or it's going to need to break. I actually want to go over to the updated charts right here, okay? So where we currently stand, ladies and gentlemen, for me, the support is at 4,900 flat. 4,900 to me is the area that I'm paying very close attention to right now. As we see here on the Coinbase chart with the daily time frame, this candle wicked perfectly down to this line. We have 3 candle bodies that closed all along there with the meat of the bodies closing at 4,900 flat. We had our wick here, and right now we are traveling in between this range of the orange line of resistance at 5,250 and the 4,900 support. Now, what we have to start asking ourselves here is, has this trend potentially ran out of gas, right? If we're looking at things like the RSI, let's pull up the RSI quickly here on the 1-day time frame. Why won't this pull up? Let's see, here we are. What we can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, is that we were extremely overbought on the daily RSI back at the peak of our run there at about 5,400. Since then, we've dropped back off and we are in neutral territory, albeit we are at 67 and 70 begins overbought territory. So this is nothing to really be in love with here, in my opinion. But as we can see, guys, the price action has just been very parabolic, to say the least. I mean, what else would we expect, honestly, after we've seen such a crazy run up with the start by $1,000 candle? But here's the problem for me now. The RSI is still very high. Our volume, ladies and gentlemen, a volume climax is generally indicative of a top. That's just market behavior, right? Where the peak of your volume goes in, and then once the volume dissipates and there's not as much action, the price generally tends to flounder. And what we see right now is that it has in fact floundered since the volume fell off, going down as much as 10.5% from the maximum peak there at the bottom. And where we currently stand is at roughly about 7.7% from the top. So for me right now, we have those two indicators that are looking somewhat negative for me there. If we also switch over to the NVT, as you guys know, I've been showing this on the stream if you are subscribed here. This is the network transactions, the blockchain transactions on Bitcoin. Historically, this thing has been nearly picture perfect. I mean, throughout Bitcoin's history, it has been absolutely epic at calling market tops. And what we see right now is we are in the red once here again. I have my trend line drawn here, which has been the metric that I found to be most credible when looking at this. If it breaks the upward sloping support, retests and fails, that is most likely when we're likely to get our dump. For me right now, the red has still not crossed over our upward sloping support line, so I'm not expecting this metric to be an immediate concern as of yet, but as we can all see, it's getting awfully close. I'm keeping the eagle eye on it. Right now, this is another factor that could be leading me to believe a massive candle is looming in the shadows. Something else I want to look at here, ladies and gentlemen. Fundstrat's Tom Lee and his Bitcoin Misery Index, right? So essentially what we see here, guys, is that right now we are at the highest reading since June 2016. And every time that this has happened and occurred, we have seen an immense dump off in Bitcoin. But the gist of the article here and why they're saying it's a possible bull signal is that although it's a bearish indicator, right, that it's signaling a sell-off may be looming, what's happened here, guys, is that this signal has only come into play during bull markets. There have been no misery indexes readings at this level when we are in a bear market. So what FunStrat's Tom Lee here is saying essentially is that this could be the start of the bull market because of the fact that this signal has not come into play ever in a bear market. It's only been during bull markets that we've got readings this high. So could this be the start of the bull market with this signal indicating that we may be in for the last sell-off before the next rally? Could be. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, you guys know, if you are subscribed here, I've been really looking for a retracement somewhere down to my two green boxes right here. My first green box, target number one for me, if we are to dump, is 46.50 with a bottom target of 45.50. That is my first target range, is between 46.50 and 45.50. If we are to drop below that, for the bull trend to still be intact on a macro level, the big picture, right? Big picture meaning that we could be climbing out of the bear market in the long term. Of course, micro trading is very different, ladies and gentlemen. Things can be micro bearish, but macro bullish. That is, you need to keep them separate. Macro is the long-term trend. I believe Bitcoin could drop all the way down to the 4,200 level. And if it holds that 4,200 level, I still believe we could be macro bullish, as we would have consolidated above our prior resistance territory, leading me to believe that old resistance has then become new support, and we could be ready for our next move to the upside. So going back to this metric here that has been the precursor to a large dump off in the past, all the way back through Bitcoin's history, it wouldn't be surprising at all for me, ladies and gentlemen, with the confluence of bearish indicators, the RSI being so high, the NVT crossing red. If we actually go and look back here at the weekly, I want to show you guys some moving averages. Guys, we're about to come up right now on the 50 moving average. We might actually touch it here very shortly, but if not, you cannot forget we have had a bearish cross on the moving averages, the 50 and 100 week. We are still trading below both of those long-term metrics. Would not surprise me at all, ladies and gentlemen, to maybe dump down, consolidate, let this 200 weekly creep on up here, and potentially maybe bottom out with this thing and look for a potential continuation of the macro bull trend. Do I believe that the bear market is over at this point? I can definitively tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, that I do not have enough sufficient data at my fingertips here to conclude, in my opinion, that the bear market has ended. There's a difference between speculating and rubbing the crystal ball. Oh, Kirby, well, you know, my grandma, she's a fortune teller, Kirby, and when she told me about Bitcoin, she said the bull market's here, Kirby, the bull market's here. James, Joe, I don't want your fortune teller mentality to seep into your realistic expectations here, my friend, because truly this market is wild. It can make or break you psychologically, right? And truthfully, ladies and gentlemen, I have wined and dined with kings and queens, slept in alleys and dined on pork and beans. I've also had my fair share of moonshot dreams and Lamborghinis, and I'll tell you, the only single way to crush this market is to look at it with realistic expectations. If you fall into this trap of Moonboy sentiment, of hype, right? It's all about the hype on social media, right, ladies and gentlemen? Yup. You see, this guy here, he posted this. Oh, this guy here, he posted that, and none of that matters, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, all that matters is the price action here inside the chart. That is all that matters to me, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you right now, I see that we have the potential here that the bottom could somewhat be forming. Do I believe that the bottom has shown us enough evidence to definitively say that it's in right now? Absolutely not. A huge confirmation for me would be to retest down either to my first target zone here between 46.50 and 45.50, consolidate and look to move upwards, breaking our old high. Second possible scenario would be a drop down to anywhere between the 4,400 level, 4,200 level, consolidate, and look to rip up to break that new high as well. And ultimately, the cherry on top, ladies and gentlemen, would be a break from any of these two levels, get above that 6,000 level, consolidate, and look to run higher. I still right now on the daily time frames, ladies and gentlemen, the RSI is very, very worrisome for me here. This is not something that I think should be taken very lightly. As we can see here, Bitcoin does not love to trade in overbought conditions for very long. We can see clearly that every time we've traded in here, we've been due for a significant sell-off. And where we stand right now, you can't rule the factor out that is a possibility here. And I see that there are many signs right now that we've potentially ran out of gas here, put in our top. If we break below this white line here at 48.90, we'll say 4,900, right? If we break below 4,900, I see no reason we wouldn't test my target areas, ladies and gentlemen, between 46.50, 45.50, and maybe even potentially lower than that. That is my own opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, once again, that is not investment advice. Once again, that is not trading advice. It's only my own speculation. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. Guys, I hope that you see here what's going on with Bitcoin. For me, I'd also like to look right now at Ethereum, and potentially we'll look at Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin here as well. But if you are just tuning in now, don't forget to moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. And before we look into Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin here, guys, if you are not already, I keep my VIPs updated with every single trade I make in absolute real time. Every entry, every target, every strategy, every take profit, etc. I post all my trades for you in real time exclusively in VIP. If you've been getting wrecked in this market, making terrible decisions, hanging out with Daniel the Degenerate, Henry the Hodler, and or Corey the Crypto Crackhead, itching his neck, scratching his collar, living that life of peril and squalor, there is no need, ladies and gentlemen. I keep you up to date in real time with my trades to the exact second that I make them. I'm ready to get this crypto. I'm ready to crush this market. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I will see you in VIP right now. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin Cash. I'm not doing too much charting on this right now. I just want to show you that just kind of like Bitcoin, we are in an equilibrium here, ladies and gentlemen. The move from the bottom to the top of this candle was heinous, okay? And there were no supports created all along the way up, which per classical technical analysis theory does suggest that if the support is broken, a large retracement may be due, right? And we'll actually use our Fibonacci retracement here. Will go from the bottom of the candle to the top of the candle. And as we can see right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have twice here bounced off of the 0.5 fib line. But as we all know, these trends do love to retrace back to the 0.618. That is just a golden, tried and true number that's happened over and over again. So for me right now, it's not like I'm saying, there it is, we're going to the 0.618, which falls at $237. But I definitely see sentiment here that if we are to get rejected within this range right now, which could also be forming a bear flag, ladies and gentlemen, do not count that out of the equation. For me, my first target here would be the 0.618 Fibonacci, which if we extrapolate from where we are right now, that is a healthy move of nearly 15% to the downside. And say we do happen to bounce up to the top of this range and then drop, let's use our percent tool from here to the 0.618. Ladies and gentlemen, that is almost an 18% move. And if we drop from where we are now to a full retracement, nearly 40%. So for me right now, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin Cash is certainly a trade that I am looking to make here. I am going to be playing this aggressively. My VIPs know I am short Bitcoin Cash right now. I am looking to add to my position aggressively. I am looking to get absolutely aggressive here. Once again, if you want my exclusive VIP trade alerts when I enter my positions on things like Bitcoin Cash and this position itself exclusively, I will see you in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. I see huge potential here for Bitcoin Cash. And of course, if this thing is to go against the trend, it would have to break the resistance at 287. Would have to break resistance at 306 and climb to a new high. I definitely see right now the path of least resistance, in my opinion, is certainly to the downside. Let's get this crypto. Let's move over to Ethereum. All right. So Ethereum for me as well, guys, is very much so in a corrective pattern here. We can see that I've had these boxes drawn for a very long time here. Let's go out to the weekly, turn on the log. You guys remember, if you are subscribed here, I had been shorting Ethereum all the way down, ladies and gentlemen, all the way down to $85. I wound up closing my position from all the way up here, guys, at $85 because my ultimate drop zone was about 80. I thought as well we did have a potential inverse moon target of 42, but I figured we were going to get a bounce at 80 because this is where we had our first cluster here of support back in the parabolic uptrend. So I wound up being conservative, closing at 85. I know my VIPs remember that trade, ladies and gentlemen, that I took there. It was absolutely heinous, and I am looking for more potentially life-changing trading opportunities, just like that one there as well. Let's get this crypto. I will keep you guys updated in VIP with my next trade right now. I will see you in VIP. Here on the daily, this box has not been changed for me. The red box of resistance here has not changed at all. And clearly, guys, we could see we've had our nice rejection right at the top of the line. But let's not lose sight here, okay? We did have our tops right here. Double top rejection. Broke through, and now we're being rejected again. The important thing to understand here is we still are creating higher lows. We have not made a lower low yet. Definitely bullish. Higher highs and lower lows. But where we are at now, ladies and gentlemen, is getting into a squeezing point. We are going to either have to make or break the trend right now. This is the point. Are we going to create a macro bull pattern here, or are we going to continue our macro bear pattern? The RSI on the daily is still quite high to me, ladies and gentlemen, at about a 56. We are still trading within our resistance box. Fair game for a move down. But if we are to break above, ladies and gentlemen, my confirmation is a new high above the old high at about 190 USD. If we get above 190 USD, it'll break us into this new trading range here. And my bullish target would be the bottom of this box here at about 223 USD. That is if we break above this box and get up here. And just to be frank with you, if we break that prior high and get to the bottom of this box here, that is roughly about a 16 to 17% potential move to the upside. I will be targeting this play if it does in fact occur, and I will be keeping my VIPs updated with my trade alerts there. Now, on the contrary, if we are to move to the downside, if we are to stick in the new low, ladies and gentlemen, I'd be looking for a low below this cluster right here, and this cluster is at about 128. If we fall, we could even count this wick here. So let's say we count this wick. Say we fall below really this whole area right here. I'll actually draw a box around it. It's this whole box right here, okay? For me, this is the make or break point for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, excuse me. This would be the last resistance zone here, okay? Or the last support, rather. I'm getting tongue-tied, excuse me. Ethereum would need to hold this range. Anything below this range, for me, is continuation of the macro bear trend. So we'd need to find support at about 125 to 118. If Ethereum consolidates at this level and begins to move higher, I still believe that the bull trend is intact. If we move below the 118 level, I believe the macro bear trend is intact. Again, I will be looking for savage, potentially massive candles and life-changing trading opportunity in here, ladies and gentlemen. As we can see, both of the potential moves here, in my opinion, are absolutely heinous, large. You guys know I like to look at the leveraged opportunities here as well. And for me, with those types of percentages plus leverage, you're talking about potentially life-changing trading opportunity. Let's get this crypto. I look forward to trading that aggressively, and I will be posting all of my trades for my VIPs. Let's get this crypto. Now here, we'll look at Litecoin, as I've been asked about Litecoin a lot recently. So Litecoin, guys, has significantly broken out through its resistance zones, right? I've gone all the way back through the parabolic bull run of 2017 up until now, and we've flush broken through all of these zones. But the problem remains here, just like Ethereum, we've come up on a critical level of turning this into a macro bull market. For me, getting above the $102 level, consolidating and moving higher past this resistance cluster right here would be indicative for me of a true bull market being formed, right? And there's still some work to go, but right now, Litecoin has been significantly overbought here, just like Bitcoin. Every time that this thing has been overbought, it's tended to really just drop off of a cliff in terms of the RSI, and it wouldn't surprise me at all right now to see Litecoin face this tough rejection here, fall back into the resistance box, and then drop lower. But what we have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that if volume comes back in like it did all the way up here, above this box, Litecoin must hold the $73 level. If Litecoin drops below $73, I believe that the bear market is definitely still intact, in my opinion, for right now. Can this change? Absolutely. But in my opinion, we don't want to see a retracement into this box, as this box has been a significant player in the chart of Litecoin here, and I would like to stay out of the box. The box for me is a level of uncertainty, and I'd like to trade above it or flush below it to give me a definitive idea of, is this thing in an uptrend or is this thing in a downtrend, as it makes my life easier as a trader to swing with the flow of momentum of the coin. For me right now, we're awaiting confirmation here for a support consolidation above this box between $72 and $102. And until this range is broken in either direction, I believe that there's going to be a lot of uncertainty here for Litecoin in the immediate term. It's not looking as juicy to me as Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum. I see a lot of potential opportunity across these few coins right now, and I am going to be trading them aggressively. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been taking that trip to Rect City with Average Joe and James at the water cooler, it's time to up your game. It's time to step into the big leagues, ladies and gentlemen. Don Curbinaccio is not playing around right now. I'm ready to get it. I'm ready to strike like a cobra out of the grass when I see the opportunity arise, and I'm ready to get this crypto. I like to take advantage of potentially life-changing trading opportunity, and I plan on doing just that when the time is right, and I'm ready to strike right now. I will see you all in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed my insights here on why I believe a large, heinous, potentially massive candle is about to strike the market as a whole. Guys, if you could one last time, moon up the likes, moon them up. Smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. We're in for some movements here, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna see. I expect a crazy few weeks ahead, and I'm potentially looking to strike upon that potentially life-changing opportunity if it does in fact arise. Let's get this crypto. Guys, I will be keeping you updated with my trades right now in VIP. I will see you in VIP right now. Shout out to my VIPs. And until next time, my friends, be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.